What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 60 of the Rise to Glory, here with Gibraltar Apex. And today I have for you guys an end of season review for this, our 8th season here at the club. As always, it's going to be one of our end of season specials, 2 cup finals, the Gibraltarian Senior League Cup, as well as the Rock Cup. First and foremost, we'll just have a quick review of the season since, of course, last time around where we were taking on Gibraltar Lions back in February. There's actually been a lot of games since then. With this kind of save, I guess you guys know by now, I'm trying to kind of plod through the domestic season fairly quickly for you guys. So we're not going to cover these games in a ton of detail. As you can see, loads of wins. We did end up going unbeaten in the league, a plus 128 goal difference in the end. We conceded 3 goals, which is a little bit disappointing. I would love to go a season without conceding a goal, but that is going to be a challenge for us. But yeah, we came close, I guess, this year. In terms of the results since that kind of Gibraltar Lions game, I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm going to highlight some of the bigger ones, one of which is certainly the 9-0 win against Lynx FC, which preceded it. After that 4-2 extra time win, I kind of thought to myself, the players really need to step it up. I want to see a performance which is really going to, I guess, reassure me that was only a blip. And this 9-0 performance certainly was that. Lorenko, Paul Smith, Mark Stewart and Sean Jackson all getting on the goal sheet. And on the scoring sheet, all fantastic attacking players for us, of course. The next few games, we've got wins against Gibraltar Phoenix, Boca Juniors, St. Joseph's, and then Gibraltar Lions again in the league. We then followed that up by beating our bogey team, College Europa, 5-0. That was a good result away from home. And then the next result, our biggest win of the year, 10-0 against Hound Dogs. A terrific team performance. Paul Smith grabbing 4. This guy, he's something else. The Australian winger, 19 years old. I mentioned a few episodes ago, I kind of mentioned how he got on in the Champions League. Looking here, you can see he's top of the assist charts with 8 assists. And it's looking like he is going to get that this year as the kind of best assister in the entirety of the Champions League, which is a fantastic achievement for this guy. He's had a great year at the club, 20 goals, 12 assists. That's just in the league, of course. In the continental competitions, he got 4 goals and 8 assists in 11 games. Got 4 man of the matches as well. He's really been a terrific player for us. His contract with the club runs out in 3 years' time. One little bit of perhaps slightly not so great news is the fact there are clubs interested, one of which is PSG. Now, I want to milk them for as much money as I can. I've said 40 million for him. Obviously, I doubt we're going to get a bid anywhere near that, but Paul Smith really showed what he was made of in that Hound Dogs game and really what he's been bringing to the table for the club throughout this year. Anyway, the next 3 games, 5-0, 4-0, 3-0. Good results against Glasses, Britannia and Lincoln Red Imps. We then played in the Rock Cup semi-final. We won that game 7-1. And then to end the season on a high, 3 fantastic performances. The first, 8-0 against Europa Point. Danny Evans, the right back who was playing right midfielder for this game, somewhat bizarrely getting 4 goals. I mean, he had the game of his life, really, by his standard, the defender. We then beat Lynx, really good performance here. Sean Jackson grabbing himself a hat-trick, the American striker. Since joining the club has been a real revelation. He has battled through injuries this year, but despite that, when he's been fit, he really has made a massive difference at the club. 19 goals in 19 games. 8 goals in 8 in continental competitions as well. Can't argue with that. And then the last result of the domestic season in terms of the league was a 7-0 win against Gibraltar Phoenix with a load of different goal scorers. Just a terrific team performance all round. So anyway, today we are going to be taking on St. Joseph's and Lincoln Red Imps. Just a little bit of transfer news to let you guys know about. And that is the fact that I have now offered Hamid Bar, the Moroccan goalkeeper, a permanent transfer. It is a release clause in his contract. I sat there, I tried to get the contract clause out. He wasn't having any of it. In the end, I just decided to bite the bullet. We've got him coming on potentially a 2-year deal. Could be a fantastic goalkeeper for the side. Really not sure why no one else has picked him up. These clubs, you know, they've been interested in him for a while, but no one's been willing to take the plunge on him. And so that is something we are going to do with this guy. It says he wants between 22,000 and 51,000 in wages. Can tell you now that at the moment we're in talks to bring him in on £8,000 a week. You may remember as around Christmas time, so about 5 months ago, there was a period where I almost was able to sign him on £3,000 a week wages. Unfortunately, his demands have shifted since then, and as a result, I've had to put in an amended bid. In terms of our team and our performance this year, it's been just a fantastic season all round. Top of the assist charts is Gimo Lorenko II, 37 assists for this guy. as well as 21 goals, 30 assists in 23 league games, as well as 13 goals, 7 man of the matches and an 8.72 average rating. Just an incredible performance this year by him. Another player who's done well, Danny Evans at right back with 24 assists. Paul Smith, the Australian left winger, has got 30 goals to his name. Not too bad for a player who plays out on the midfield. And he's also got 23 assists. Jay Marriott, our left back, has 18 assists. And Mark Stewart, our record transfer, ended up getting 44 goals in all competitions and 15 assists. A great performance by him. 33 goals in the league. His goal scoring tally this year in both the league and for the club is a record. Both in the league and obviously for us. And of course, with this season going so well, we have set a record points total of 81 points, which will never be surpassed because, of course, we've got a 100% record this season. Anyway, I want to kind of continue on with that 100% record. I am going to cut, obviously, the time between the St. Joseph's and Lincoln Red Imps games. 2 games, though, here for us. I do want to quickly just have a quick look at the club kind of general info so you can see a little bit about the team here. But if we go to the general tab, no new rivals to speak of yet. Club value sits at 8.75 million in terms of legends and such. You can see Anthony Hernandez is actually retired, unfortunately. We let him go. I think I mentioned that end of last episode, maybe, or the episode before, the fact he was still a free agent. He has unfortunately left us. A little bit of squad news to tell you guys about. A little bit of sad news, really. I feel a bit sad saying it. Griffo has decided to retire at the end of the year. He's broken some ribs. He's decided, to call it a day, aged 32. The winger's been a loyal player for the club. I'm hoping and praying he might want to become a staff member, and so we might be able to, get him to stay at the club, because this guy, he deserves a spot at the club. He's been here since the beginning. He's played regular football for us for a number of years, and he's basically part of the furniture, and it would be a shame to see him go. Another player who was actually already retired, and this was one that kind of caught me off by surprise because he retired halfway through a season, was Guerrero. And I guess we'll have a moment's silence for Aaron here. But he elected to retire halfway through this year. He actually, I can't remember what the injury was now. I think it was knee ligament damage of some kind. It might be cruciate ligament. Basically, he was out for 12 months. He was out for pretty much a year. And he just decided to call it a day. So a sad day at Gibraltar Apex. Our former captain, who made 135 league appearances and scored 7 goals for us, left. Unfortunately, he didn't want to become a staff member, so he joins kind of the relic of archive players. But yeah, a little bit sad to see Guerrero and Griffo go. I guess they're the first 2 players in this save who have been here for a while, who are moving on, who are kind of, I guess retiring, what's the word for retiring that I'm looking for? They're kind of, they're going on their vacations. They've had enough. They've decided they want to enjoy Gibraltar for what it is. It's kind of a holiday destination, and, well, football just isn't for them. Anyway, shifting our attention onto today's games, we are going to be taking on St. Joseph's first here. You'll notice, Jack, why is your squad really depleted? Why are there loads of half-star players in the defence? And why? Fix it, Jack, why? I'll tell you why. The Under-20s World Cup is happening. And pretty much all our good young players are away. So Sean Jackson's away. He's a big miss for us. Medina at centre-back is away. Danny Evans is away. A lot of the Americans, obviously. We've also got Marshall, the Australian. Mohammed, the Ghanaian, is also out. So basically, we're left a little bit short everywhere. Fortunately, obviously, we've still got quite a lot of Gibraltarians in our squad, really adding some squad depth. And yeah, we are going to be calling on quite a few of them today. In terms of the team for today's game, just going through it real quick. In goal, we have to go with Perez because Romero is at the World Cup. Perez, the Spanish goalkeeper, looking to leave in the summer. Probably will let him go. Hopefully, obviously, with Barr coming in potentially, we'll have a new first-choice goalkeeper there. In terms of our defence, Sesse, the kind of Moroccan right-back who I brought in as a bit of cover in January, makes a rare appearance for us. He's actually done okay when we've called upon him. And left-back, the man, the myth, the Glenn Gilbert, the 32, I was about to say the 32-year-old, but he's not 32, he's 30. The 30-year-old, still at the club. He's now been at the club 8 years. This is his 8th season. He's seen a lot since he joined us at age 22. He is going to get a spot in our team. In terms of our defence, we go with Thomas and Malloy. Malloy, of course, leaving us in the summer, so this is his second to last appearance for the club. In midfield, we go with Smith at left mid. The Australian is now part of the Australia first team setup and as a result isn't at the World Cup. Out on the right, we go with Gimo Lorenko II. In the midfield, we go with Braun and Bouchard. Braun, he's done okay this year. He's really been a cover player for us. He does want to leave the club, however, so he might be a player who we move on. He's really not made that many appearances for us. He's been a useful cover player to have, but nothing more than that. Bouchard this year has really stepped things up. I say that, and then I look at his attributes here, and a few of them have been on the decline of late. But the young Canadian centre mid really has improved as a player this year. He's matured a lot. An 8.38 average rating for him. Hopefully he can do a job in our midfield. And then up front for this game, because of a few players leaving and such for the World Cup, we go with Mark Stewart, the club record transfer. He is eligible to play today, Scotland. I don't know if Scotland made it to the Under-20 World Cup. He is, of course, 21, so he's too old for that competition. And alongside him, Ben Connolly, club legend. Hopefully he can get a few goals in today's episodes. Of course, the players at the World Cup aren't going to be back anytime soon. Anyway, we have to submit this team with the players being away, as I mentioned. It's a little bit depleted. We're not at full strength. This might not be as easy as I'm hoping. However, I'm going to tell the players I expect to win here. We still have superior quality, even with a lot of Gibraltarian players slotting in. And I want us to kind of really make a difference here. So we'll see how we get on. Obviously, taking on St. Joseph's, a team who they've caused us trouble over the years. If we could score against them early, that would be great. Glenn Gilbert, I thought he was about to get an immediate assist. Unfortunately, that's not happened, although there is a chance here. 40 seconds gone. Stewart inside. Connolly is there, Stewart. To Lourenco. Bouchard. Nice play here. Concesse whipping a ball. He can. Back post. Smith is there. Cleared away, but only as far as Glennie Gilbert. Pulls it across. Stewart's there. Can we work an opportunity? Lourenco. Block shot. Smith. Rebound. And that was a real opportunity. Smith with a number of shots there. The keeper parried it well, to be honest. But he keeps St. Joseph's in it. And that is a good start for us. But I would have much preferred to get a goal within the first few minutes. We showed in the last live com against Gibraltar Lions, there are games where we just seem to run into a wall. However, that wall has just been smashed down early on here. Joe Bouchard, the Canadian, a nice finish actually outside the box. The free kick came in from about 40 yards out wide. Couldn't be cleared, and Bouchard, well, he was there, wasn't he? You got Lourenco whipping in the ball initially. Headed by Smith, actually, down, and then Bouchard on the volley. I mean, that is a nice goal. Perhaps not the set-piece routine we were looking for a ball in that position to go over the top and be nodded back, but we'll take it. And we're on the attack again here. Stewart, nice run. Lourenco hits the woodwork. And, well, it could be 2-0 here after just 5 minutes. We've been all over St. Joseph's in the early stages. We've got that 1-goal lead, but we want more. We showed and kind of proved last episode that a 1-goal lead really doesn't mean a lot in these kind of games. We need to go out there and kill this game early if we can. You'd have to say, given our performance in the opening 16 minutes, we are on course to win this game fairly comfortably, as you'd kind of expect. But at the same time, this competition and the Rock Cup, they've caused us problems over the years, and I'm hoping today we can have a good performance. And well, that is the start of a good performance now. 2 goals, 24 minutes gone. That time Stewart getting the goal for us. A nice goal. Initial shot was blocked by the keeper after Sesse, the right back's cross in. But Stewart, just alive to the danger, hits it in. Keeper can only get a hand to it. Makes it 2-0 here. And yeah, you'd have to say now in this situation, we should be looking pretty good to kind of continue marching on. We'll have to see how we get on here. Ball headed away by Malloy. Can we break now? Connolly. Ben Connolly, the man, the myth, the legend. Nice ball through. Lourenco hits it. Probably should be doing better there. Ben Connolly very unselfishly laying it off. I mean, I half expected the striker to have a pop himself, but he laid it across, and Lourenco with a tame effort in the end. That said, we might be on the attack again here. Connolly hits it. He scores. Ben Connolly gets his 9th goal of the season. He doesn't play too often for us these days, Ben Connolly. A player who has really kind of grown up at the club. But he seems to be a player who we can call upon, and he gets goals for us, of course. Quite memorably this year, I guess, he got the brace against Zagreb in the first leg, where he came on off the bench and grabbed 2. And he's got another goal for us here to make it 3-0. I might have to turn off the 3D goal highlights sooner or later, because right now we are running rampant here. It could be 9-0 the way things are going. And right now we're getting a barrage of corners here, which St. Joseph's are holding firm to, at least for now, although maybe a chance. Smith to Braun. To Glennie Gilbert, and well, that was the end of that highlight, it's fair to say. Although, don't know what to say to that, really. Just gonna shake my head. I know you can't see me shaking my head here, but I am. Be aware, I very much am shaking my head at what I've just witnessed. Questionable decision making by Glenn Gilbert. If you missed that and you're just listening to me, he just got sent off randomly. I mean, it's a bit of an unnecessary foul to make. We are going to have to make some changes here. One thing that is worth noting actually is the fact that Melvin Thomas, our Canadian centre-back, I've been retraining to play left-back, and he's picked it up relatively quickly. Of course, he played there for us in Europe, and kind of spurred on by that kind of situation where I had to play him in that kind of left-mid position. I decided it was probably in my interest to play him and train him at left-back. I realised I just said left-mid. I mean left-back. So he is learning to play there. But anyway, a man down. Can we make things happen? We still can. Stewart grabs to the fourth. I'm going to change the highlights at this point to 3D goals only, I think, guys, just to kind of speed things up. We're going to put it on close camera on key. I'm sorry for you 2D fans, but I'm sure you agree with me here when I say that there's going to be more goals in this game. We don't need to watch them twice, do we? Especially when it's 4-0 already. But so far, so good. Very pleased with the efforts from the team today. Stuart getting a lot of goals. Not so happy with you, Glenn. Gonna be honest. I mean, it's a really stupid sending off to get. 3-0 up in the first half and you just decide to go through the back of a man. I mean, perhaps that's a sign of where we've come from. It's a reminder of the players we would be stuck with if we were still Gibraltarian and kind of semi-pro and unable to attract players from abroad. Either way, though, we are on the attack here. Stewart, I think he's looking for his hat-trick now, the Scotsman. Whips it in, back post, Lorenko's there. Makes it 5-0, his 22nd goal of the year. Nice play by Mark Stewart as well. He's hunting for that hat-trick. And that was very unselfish of him to cross it in. Worth noting, and this has gone under my radar a little bit, Paul Smith, of course, our Australian left winger, he's got a hat-trick of assists already, so he's really contributed this game. And he might have another chance here as he lays in Thomas, who crosses it in. Lorenko misses a header from a yard out and no one gets to the rebound. And St. Joseph's live to fight another day, although the another day is now. Bouchard out wide to Sesse. Can he whip in a ball? The Moroccan. He can. Back post. Smith is there. I mentioned he had a hat-trick of assists. He's now got a goal to his name as well. Makes it 6-0. And this has been a pretty convincing performance even when we've gone down a man here. We've scored 3 goals in a 10v11 game here. And, well, I think it's fair to say you wouldn't know we were a man down. And we're going forward again here. Stewart, shot. Perez with the save. A decent save there. A decent opportunity for a goal. We do have a corner, however. Defended initially, but we will have another corner. 2 in a row now. Can we make this pressure count? Back post. Perez in goal going to save it, but he carries it out for a corner. And it's now a 3rd corner in a row. 3rd time's the charm. Smith, Stewart, saved. That was an opportunity. A clear-cut chance right there. 3rd cross in a row and 3rd corner in a row, but well, that time the keeper was actually called upon. The ball not initially completely cleared and we had a half a chance there. Do I want to make a change here? Part of me does. I don't know what I'd change there. I'm going to bring on Angeles for Paul Smith. Worth noting, Angeles, a player who I talked about wanting to get rid of earlier in the year. He's just not featured a lot in my first team plans with Smith having the season he's had the Australian. And as a result, with his contract running out at the end of the year, it looks like for Angeles this is going to be, you know, one of his last appearances for the club. He is going to be moving on. But anyway, we've got another corner here. I really should work on my corner routines in FM because we do get a lot of them and I don't feel like we make enough of them and kind of create enough. But either way, it's not going to matter too much in this game. It's going to finish 6-0, a great performance here. I'm going to march on straight into the next game. This episode is already at 18 minutes long. I don't want it to run too much longer. So yeah, guys, great performance there. Next game against Lincoln Red Imps. They beat us in the Rock Cup final a few years ago. Hopefully we won't have a repeat of that. Hopefully you stick around. And yeah, I'll be back in just a second. So we're back here for the second leg. Guys, I've just been sorting out the squad going into today's game. Only a few little bits of news. You know Glenn Gilbert suspended because you just saw him get sent off. Other bit of news, Mark Stewart, record transfer, not able to play. What's the injury, you're probably wondering? Blisters. Bloody blisters stops you from playing in a cup final. Are you having a laugh? Like, why are you getting blisters at the end of the year? Who gets new football boots in May? No one. No one does that. They get them for the new season. Not happy about that. Not happy at all. Anyway, despite that, that's the only few kind of issues we've had. In terms of the team, part of me wants to stick Peachman up front, if I'm honest, with Connolly for old time's sakes. I think that's what we're going to do. The rest of the team, the midfield is Smith, Gary, Bouchard and Lorenko. Nothing too crazy going on there. Elsewhere in the team, at left back we have to go today with Melvin Thomas. At right back we are going to go with Jeremy Braun as well. So previously we had Glenn Gilbert at left back. And then at right back, who did we have? I actually can't remember. Was it Peter Morgan? It must have been Peter Morgan at right back. Today I've mixed things up. I've gone with Braun there, who is a left mid and centre mid, who's quite good defensively. And I thought to myself once, actually, he could do a right back job. And as you can see, I've been training him as a right back for a little while now. He's not exactly picked it up. But it's a role that he's a player who's not going to excel anywhere, Jeremy Braun. So if I can have him cover a few extra positions for me, great. And that was kind of the attitude I took with him. And, well, as a result, I trained him to play right back. And today, he is going to be playing right back for us. Anyway, looking at our team, I think this is the squad we're going to go with. It's the 4-4-2. Worth noting, debutant in the side, Hamid Bar. He has signed for the club. He is earning £9,000 a week. And as is in his contract, he has a release clause of £500 and a match highest earner clause. Not two clauses that I really wanted in his contract, but the 21-year-old is just an absolutely superb goalkeeper. And I do think he can make a big difference for us, certainly next season, assuming we don't lose him in the summer for his minimum release clause. So anyway, let's submit our team for today's game. Peachman is going to take the armband. The keeper of the keeper, that's Bar the keeper, who I've just given a number to. The striker, Peachman, of course, a bit of a legend. It is me. Of course, if you don't know that he's me, then you've skipped episodes and I'm not going to explain. But go on me. I believe today we can do something. He's got 1 goal in 1 already. We've also got Ben Connolly playing alongside him. So it's a bit of a throwback this. You know, we're going with the old guard up front. We've got Jackson away on international duty in the Under-20s World Cup. Stewart's away. I mean, Kuka is ready and raring on the bench, but I thought to myself, why not? Why not? You know, play a bit of everything. For this game, I'm going to stick with the 3D camera at all times, just so you guys can see the goals nice and fancily when they fly in, and also to speed up this episode because watching goals twice is quite time-consuming if you're scoring more than kind of 5 goals a game. But anyway, 1-0 here after 10 minutes. Good start. Smith back post with the goal. Fairly standard goal by our standards. We're on the attack again here. Lorenko whips it in. Connolly's there. Headed to Smith. Peachman. He scores. He scores. He likes scoring, doesn't he? He doesn't play very often these days, but he's the kind of player who you just stick on the pitch and it's a goal every game. It's 2-0 here, and we're actually on the attack again. Could we score a third goal in 3 minutes? Our first goal came in let's find this, the 11th minute and 9th second. So we have 4 seconds left to try and get a goal to score 3 in 3 minutes. It's not going to happen, although, well, we do still have the ball. We are still on the attack here. Bouchard out wide to Thomas. Smith hits the woodwork. It's probably going to go out for a throw in here. It is. Cracking effort. A chance to, well, make this game, I guess, over within the first 20 minutes. Unfortunately, he did miss. It stays at 2. Lincoln Red Imps, though, struggling to get into this game. 25 minutes gone, yet to have a shot on goal. We've been boxing them in. We've not perhaps scored as many goals as I'd like. But, well, Lincoln Red Imps, as you can see, they just don't look like scoring in this game at the moment, which is pretty good. And at half-time, it's actually only going to be 2-0. I'm going to have a bit of a shout at the players about that. I expect more from our team in this kind of game. So, yeah, we'll see how they react here. They look fired up. I mean, if I'm Red Imps, I've just had that half. I don't want to see a fired Apex come out for the second half. That would be a nightmare. Hopefully, in getting the players fired up, we're not going to have another red card like Glenn Gill, but instead we're going to have some much improved performances and, you know, maybe be a little bit more ruthless and get a few more goals. But we do need to defend here. Red Imps coming forward with the ball, but we do take it away. And now Connolly holding up the play nicely. Players surging on ahead. Smith to Lorenko. Lovely build-up play here. The ball to Connolly finds its way there somehow. Thomas whips it in. Peachman, he has 2 bites at the cherry there, and neither of them see him find the food in his mouth. The cherry is gone. It's fallen on the floor. Still 2-0 here. And half an hour left in this game, but we have got a set piece. Bouchard saved away there from the set piece and cleared away a half chance there for the Canadian to get his second goal in 2 games. But yeah, looking here, time ticking away. 15 minutes left. This has been an underwhelming performance by our standards. I feel guilty having put the close camera on, if I'm honest. Hopefully the players can step it up here as we are coming forward with the ball. Connolly to Lourenco. Can he score? He can't. This should be over, this game. And, well, the fact of the matter is it's been disappointing so far. I'm going to bring on Kuka for, I think, Connolly. He's not had the best game. We'll get some fresh legs on there. Melvin Thomas at fullback struggled. I'm going to bring in Angeles to play left back. Not a position he can play at all, but he is capable of playing out on the left. He is left-footed, of course. He has some good pace, so it's not a position that's kind of completely alien to him. And he should be able to slot in relatively competently. Anyway, loads of set-piece chances here. We're not taking any of them, however, and it looks like Red Imps are going to clear away with the ball there. They are indeed. And with 83 minutes left, I mean, it's still 2-0. I really don't know how to feel about that. If we make it 3-0, I'll be a little bit more pleased. I must admit, Lincoln Red Imps this year, they've proven to be tough opposition for us. In the league, we beat them 2-0 once. We beat them 1-0 once. They're one of the few teams who have remained kind of relatively, I guess you could argue, competitive against us. Although, well, we have a chance for a third goal there. Kuka, with the shot blocked, I thought for certain that was going to be a goal to kind of make this game beyond doubt. Unfortunately, however, it still is 2-0. That said, we are bringing the ball forward here. Gary in the box hits the post. Some weird animation glitches going on there, but McElwee collects the ball in goal for Red Imps. And, well, it looks like here it is going to be game over now. Red Imps, they've not had a shot on target yet. Barr has not had a lot to do in goal, the Moroccan. That said, you know, time here at the end, there might be a late chance. Surely we're not going to concede now. 86th minute, that would be pretty tragic. I want to hold on to this clean sheet if we can. End the season on a high. Lourenco threads through Kuka. Kuka shoots, misses again. This time, though, Bouchard, edge of the box, cannot pick out a pass. Goes out for a goal kick, and that is another clear-cut chance and another chance squandered. That said, that might not be all she wrote for this chance, as Red Imps are coming forward with the ball. Lincoln, they really have stepped up. They obviously got promoted this year. I'm not sure where they finished in the league table. I know they were around 4th or 5th with just a few games left. So they have adapted to life back in the Primera Division pretty well. Anyway, Kuka, ball in. Lourenco, can we score here? We can. Finally, we make it 3-0. It's been a long time coming in this game. It's a shame, really, it's taken this long, but we'll take it. Pretty standard goal by our standards. Lourenco with the finish from a cross. 40 seconds left here. I don't think this is going to be a goal. I think this is going to be, well, the end. The full-time whistle, well, it's on the horizon. It's coming. And it is going to round off what's been a pretty successful year. We've not lost a Gibraltarian team this year in all competitions. In fact, I don't think we've drawn against any. I guess you could argue the draw against Gibraltar Lions in the Cup is a draw, but, I mean, we won it on the day, didn't we? I don't know if that counts. Anyway, whatever way you look at it, it's been a great season. Another win there. Not entirely surprising, but still good to kind of, I guess, do that. We celebrate a famous quadruple as well. Barr made his debut, of course. We're awarded £180,000 for winning the Rock Cup. The Rock Cup's reps slowly creeping up just a little bit. The prize money for it increasing too as a result. I didn't actually realise that was a thing. Someone actually pointed out in the comments. I wasn't aware. I don't know if that's something new in the last few FMs, that competition prize money scales as the reputation of the competition rises, but it does, so that's definitely worth keeping an eye on. In terms of the league, we'll just have a quick look at the final league table. In Europe this year, it's going to be Gibraltar Lions, Glasgow United and Lincoln Red Imps. Going down, Hound Dogs. Disappointing year for them. Last year they finished 3rd in the league, so to be relegated, having spent the last 3 years in the Primera Division, is going to be a big kick in the teeth for them. Gibraltar Phoenix held on to their position in this division. They've been a bit of a yo-yo team. This year around, they did beat Angels after extra time expired and the score was still 0-0 in the relegation playoff. They managed to eke it through on penalties. They will be a team who we do, of course, take on next year. But anyway, that's everything in terms of, I think, team news. In terms of going forward, of course, this is the end of Season 8 now. With the Champions League, I don't think the last game has been played yet. It's not played till Saturday the 3rd of June. I could continue forward. I'm going to continue forward here. Hopefully this won't pause at any point, but I'm just curious if we're going to get some TV money from the Champions League wrapping up. I think we might get a little bit, but I'm not sure how much it's going to be. So we'll check ourselves. We'll have a quick look here. Players inducted into the overall best 11. We'll take a quick look at the overall best 11. But yeah, a few players been added to the history books. If we look at it here, this is the overall best 11 as it stands. The starting 11, Felix, Morgan, Evans. Evans getting the call up. I'm pretty pleased about that. He has had an impact on the club since he joined. Medina as well, making it into the best 11. Glenn Gilbert at left back there, 209 appearances now. Lee Robson, Gary, Tristan Sargent and Griffo in the midfield. Up front, Ben Connolly and Peachman. On the bench, you can see Joe Borg, Guerrero, Hernandez, Roberts, Kuka, Alexander Reyes and Leguia all appearing there. I would suspect that a few of these players we'll see kind of change over the next few years, as though a lot of the professional players who have been here a few years kind of make their mark on the club. In terms of end of season awards, Lourenco won Fans Player of the Year. Goal of the season was by Paul Smith. It was scored against College Europa. I can't seem to recall this goal, although with us scoring over 100 in the league, it's a little bit tricky, I guess, to keep track of it. But we'll take a look at it. This was the goal of the year. It was scored by Smith, who's that man there. I mean, it's a nice finish. It's a little bit underwhelming to get goal of the season. I guess you could say we don't score too many flashy goals. But signing of the season was Mark Stewart. That's a little bit unsurprising. And also Lourenco getting Young Player of the Season. In terms of our kind of season review, we kind of achieved everything that was expected of us. Of course, to reach the Champions League knockout stages was absolutely fantastic. Worth noting that we did get the kind of highest average attendance in the league by some margin. And, well, you can see here the fact that we've got it 97% full is a pretty good sign. I do kind of enjoy the fact that our moment to forget for the season was a win. Something somewhat amusing about that. But all in all, it's been a great year, obviously. Right now, the domestic competition is becoming a bit of a walkover. As the league reputation increases from us doing well in Europe, hopefully a TV deal will come in. We'll start to see a lot of the teams in our division getting excessive money. And with that money, hopefully they can strengthen up. And, you know, over the next few decades or so, we should see a really competitive league emerge. But anyway, been pretty good kind of season, I guess you could argue. I can't really complain with anything that we've done. I am just going to quickly continue through to that Saturday just to see if there's any TV money that comes in from the Champions League. I have a weird feeling it works a bit like the Europa League, which if you can remember, as well as the prize money you get kind of for getting to the group stage at the end of the year, there was also some additional money paid out. It's going to be a bit of a tricky kind of end of season because we have got a few players who, well, teams are particularly interested in who we're going to have to try and fend off interest for. So that is something worth considering. There are a few players I'm looking at coming into this year. One of which is this guy, Williams. He plays for Vasco. He's 20 years old. We've been scouting him. My scout drew my attention to him. Looks like a very good player. Not earning a lot of money right now. Unfortunately, no interest in joining the club on a permanent basis. However, I'm hoping that might change with time. In terms of the kind of bid they're looking for, I have been negotiating bids with them. I had this £4.5 million one accepted at one point. You can see they want a little bit more money now. Really, I mean, our transfer budget is 3.8 million for the coming year. I might spend a little bit more than that, depending on if this TV money comes in as of Saturday, which I assume is when we'll see it come in. But yeah, I don't expect to see too many crazy transfers going on. If we could find, you know, an absolutely insane player like William, I'd probably be willing to throw quite a lot of money at him. Unfortunately, despite his low wages, I have a weird feeling he probably is going to want to leave the club. Well, yeah, of course he's going to want to leave the club he's at, but I don't think he's going to want to join our club, unfortunately. We'll give it a feeler, we'll see how he gets on, but I have a feeling that last time we negotiated, yeah, you can see here, he wants to go to a bigger club. We're kind of in a tricky situation now because I am just trying to sign any players we can. Mark Stewart wants to talk about leaving for Livingston. Livingston, they finished second in the Scottish Championship. They really have had a bit of a rise here. If they had like a takeover of some kind, they haven't. They've just kind of done it the good old-fashioned way. I mean, I don't want to lose Stewart, and he's got a release clause in his contract of £3 million. But, I mean, if they reach it, they can have him, I guess. I want to tell him that I can achieve his goals here and we can sign some good players. He wants to stay for the transfer window, so we've blagged ourselves a little bit of time there with Stewart, which is pretty pleasing. Tel Aviv make a bid for Lourenco of £500. They are having a giraffe. They're talking about the release clause in Barr's contract. Unfortunately, we already knew that was going to be an issue. We might lose him in the summer, having him played that one game for us. That would be a little bit embarrassing. Lourenco is unhappy that I rejected what he considers to be an acceptable bid from Tel Aviv. I mean, they bid 500 quid, son. They bid I mean, they've not. He thinks the offer was fine at 500 quid. I mean, I don't know what to say to that. Okay, so I've told him that he can go. I'm now going to be a little bit cheeky because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put his asking price at 200 million. I'm also going to change his asking price here to 200 million. I just was about to offer him out for 200 million. I'm going to set his asking price here to 100 million. The reason I'm going to do that is because hopefully clubs will see that and be put off. Or alternatively, they'll just bid on him and make him really unhappy. And now that I reject these offers, he's going to throw a hissy fit, isn't he? Right. We probably need to sell him. We probably need to sell Lourenco. I don't want to sell him, I should point out. I'm going to offer him for 2.5 million. We'll see if anyone bites at that price. He's going to come to me again now today and kick up a fuss about the fact I've not sold him. Okay, he hasn't yet. I mean, I expect that to come. Maybe he's going to let me have a day off. Maybe because it's the weekend, he's having some mercy. Anyway, Champions League final here is between City and Monaco. This is what we're interested in. We want to know, is their TV money going to come at the end of the competition? I have a feeling there is. Man City winning the final 9-2. Wow, okay, not a bad thing there. You can see we were actually given 4.76 million in TV revenue. A little bit disappointing, actually. I thought that was going to be more. In terms of kind of the competition review, Paul Smith, Gibraltar Apex, top assists with 8. Done pretty well there. A familiar face getting top goal scorer. No idea how he got that top goal scorer by any means. I mean, it's as if he played against a really bad team and scored lots of goals. Alexander Royer, of course, a PSG, a familiar name there. But anyway, that is going to wrap up this season from me, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Our club balance now sits at just shy of £12 million. All in all, though, things looking really good. Of course, this year I'm going to try and strengthen over the summer. In an ideal situation, I'd like to get to the Champions League group stage again, although that is going to be a trouble. It'll be interesting to see over the summer how, obviously, Gibraltar's rep increases, how the national team gets on, how we get on. Just kind of how things change, I guess, with what was a pretty good breakout performance, I think, in Europe to get to the Champions League, but also to draw 2 group stage games. Certainly not something to be ashamed of. But yeah, that is all from me, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this end of season review. We covered a few bits of information, looked at some transfers, went a bit into the nitty-gritty, and we also had some pretty good cup finals, albeit they are kind of getting a little bit tedious perhaps at this point. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you've got any comments with this series, leave them down below, of course. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.